Do this right. Okay, so fingers crossed we're doing this right. So I am here with Jennifer Buchheit of Studio Rosie and the big book of Fantasy Kids Crafts. Hello.
Hi, hello.
I'm so excited that you're taking this maiden voyage with me on these
Yes,
video
thank
interviews.
you.
You can hold my hand through it because I'm not sure what I'm doing. So
Yeah, we'll make it through.
I believe in us. So,
Yes.
all right. So let's start with before we get into your new book, which I'm very excited for. I've recently started working at like a children's art school here in Austin.
Yeah, amazing.
And I'm constantly like looking for stuff to entertain those kids with. Like I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
your book and I was like, and yes, and yes, and yes. I was even telling the woman that owns it yesterday, I was like, you got to pre-order this book. Like,
Oh, yeah, thanks.
yeah, it's awesome. It's real, it's got so many cute things in it.
Really excited
So
about it.
let's start with Studio Rosie. So, where did you come up with that name? I'm assuming it's a child's name, or what's the kind of
Yeah.
the story?
So my daughter's name is Rose,
Okay.
and I started the whole account because of her.
Uh,
I started it during the pandemic when she was about 2.5.
okay.
And during that time, just like everyone else, we were stuck inside looking for
Uh-huh.
things to do. And I've always been creative, I would say, but I've never really pursued arts of any kind. No painting, crafting, kind of like in the background, I was doing things, but nothing seriously. Um, but I realized spending all that time with her together just in our house
Mhm.
that she loved crafts, like one of her favorite things to do. She loved crafts and she loved playing pretend and make believe and kind of creating little worlds for herself to play
Mhm.
in. So I just started helping her do that. And I was really honestly taking her lead. Things she was interested in, I would help her make. And it just kind of started with me posting on my personal Facebook
Uh-huh.
just to let people see what we were up to. And then I had a few people tell me that I should start posting it publicly, which is a bit of a leap for me. I'm not a very public kind of person, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I decided to start the Instagram, and it just turned into like a creative outlet for me. And it's been really fun to make things and to be creative, but also do things with Rose that she loves to do. And since the pandemic, I have had another daughter, May, and she is now 3.5. So we all have been making these things together, and it's just been really, really fun.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. Yeah, during the
Yeah.
pandemic, it was like we were all the moms, we were all riding the struggle bus, like trying to
Right.
entertain those kids.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I mean, I was like busting them out for my kids. Like, do you want to do paper mache? Do you want to learn how to make a pom pom? Like, what do we got?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's so cute. So how old is your oldest daughter now?
He's 7.
Okay, she's 7, so she's still hot and heavy into the crafts.
Yes, it's all she wants to do
Okay.
is craft. And I will say it's really amazing to watch her because she's already so far ahead, like of even what I can do now.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I just recently figured out how to draw people, and she's like already like doodling away, making
Uh-huh.
people. She can make expressions, and just she's very talented and creative, and it's just really fun to see her grow.
That's cute. Yeah, well, hopefully she keeps up with it. I didn't know how old your kids were,
Yeah,
and hopefully this won't happen with you, but like as my kids have gotten older, they're like for crafts. And then I
right.
started to think like, were you just doing that because it's the only way you could get mommy's full attention as if you did?
Oh yeah, right.
But I mean,
Yeah,
I know they loved it too, and my daughter still
yeah,
does like some
yeah.
stuff, like recently she was like into making beaded bracelets. And so of course I was like,
Mhm.
what? Like, let me
Yeah,
go buy you all these things. Like,
right.
you got
Yeah.
a hobby besides TikTok? I'm on board.
Yeah. I I know. Well, that's honestly what a lot of it is I'm just kind of following Rose's lead. And May too. She's starting to kind of get more into it, but Rose
Uh-huh.
is really in like her crafting era right now.
Uh-huh, I love
And
it.
I just am really following her lead and doing things she's interested in. And it's been really fun to work on things together.
And that's amazing. Yeah, and like you kind of touched on a couple things I was going to ask you about, so I might kind of go in and out of order.
Yeah.
You said you're kind of following Rose's lead. Was that has she always kind of been into like fantasy crafts, or were you kind of into that, or did that just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like what little girl isn't into like unicorns and
I know.
mermaids, fairies?
Yeah.
But I didn't know like did she kind of
Yeah.
set the
Well,
way for that?
I got approached to write the book,
Uh-huh.
and it was very, very exciting.
Yeah.
I was thrilled and honestly was just like couldn't believe it. It took me like many months before I was finally like, okay, I don't think anyone's pranking me. Like it's happening.
Right?
Like it's all real, I think. Um, but yeah, so I had to, kind of think of what my theme of the book was
Mm,
going to be. And she at the time was very into unicorns and
yeah.
fairies. Um, and it kind of got me thinking about yeah, like the whole like fairy tale fantasy world. And it's something that I've just never really delved into on my Instagram very
Uh-huh.
much. So I thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity to just go for it and think of every fantasy craft I could possibly think of
Uh-huh, right.
and put it in this book.
60th.
Um, yeah, right. And it's funny, I just sat at a Barnes and Noble in the cafe on like a Saturday or Sunday, and I just brainstormed and I came up with all of the ideas just like sitting there.
Uh-huh.
And the ideas came really easily. It was really fun to come up with it. But yeah, she really is into all of the fantasy creatures. Now it's dragons. It's her favorite thing in the world.
I love it.
um, but what I really wanted to do with the book is make crafts, but make crafts that could be played with. So
Hmm.
they're not just something that you put on a piece of paper. All of them are um, able to be put together and create little worlds, and you can really just tell a story
Hmm.
with all the crafts. And that's kind of how I put the book together.
Yeah.
Everything has little figures, everything has a little house, everything has a little backdrop, so you can kind of mix and match and play with it in lots of different
All the
ways.
things. Yeah. And as a boy mom, I was like, and as someone who teaches boys, and I find that the boys are sometimes the hard ones to get on board
Yeah.
with stuff. I mean, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of it's pretty like, I mean, all crafts are gender neutral, is what I tell the
Right.
kids, but there is lots of things that I know, like very stereotypical boys would like get on board with, like, yeah, I'll make a dragon. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you
I
know,
tried to. I know it's hard because it is a little bit one-sided with the unicorns, but
I mean,
um,
I
it's
love
one.
those unicorn crafts.
I know, yeah. So I did try. I have a chapter on unicorns and fairies and mermaids, and then I have a chapter on dragons and gnomes, and then
Hmm.
like an enchanted forest.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of everything in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, again, you touched on a bunch of my questions because I was curious if Page Street came to you with a, like, kind of a
Mm,
theme or if you went to them. Because, like, when I've written books, well, a lot of times they'll come to me and be like, we want a book on, like, this thing, which makes it, like you said, easier. Once you have those parameters,
yeah.
it's like,
For
okay.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had my initial meeting with Page Street, and I kind of had a few ideas going into it, but she asked me a question, my publisher did, um, about um, crafting growing up.
Hmm.
And it reminded me of this craft that my mom did. She's a teacher, she's retired now, but my whole life she was a teacher, and she is incredibly talented and artistic and crafty and all of that. And I must have been maybe kindergarten, first grade, somewhere in there. And she made a giant paper mache dragon. It was huge. and
Uh-huh.
it had to be made outside. It was the length of our house, and I just had like such a memory of it. And my publisher, Marissa, said, well, you should consider a fantasy theme. And I was like, yeah, that would be perfect
Yeah.
because I it's really something that I have a lot of ideas about that I've never executed. So it was really a fun theme.
Yeah, it's predestined. And you've got the giant dragon behind you.
I know. Well, that's actually, yeah, I wanted to make a giant dragon in the book inspired by that dragon from my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I wanted it to be something that was a little simpler to execute than, you have to make it outside your house. It's so big.
It has to be the length of your house, like no ifs,
Right,
no
right.
buts. Yeah.
So this one's a paper chain,
Okay.
and it's newspaper, so you can make it as big as you want with the newspaper, and you can just keep going forever, keep adding chains,
Yeah.
and make it the length of your house if you want.
Yeah. I love it. And once you tell a kid, like a group of kids, like, let's try to make the longest paper chain dragon
Yes,
ever. Like you're just
yeah,
like, oh, I just killed an hour. Like that's awesome. Like I'll just keep
yeah,
on keeping on. Yeah. He's bigger.
yeah.
Is that the one from the book?
Yes, this is
Yeah.
the one from the book.
He's
Yeah.
bigger than like, you know what I mean? Now that I have your head for scale and
Yeah,
the
it's a big one.
window,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a whopper. I like him. I love him that big. That's super cool. So back to like your Instagram following.
Yeah.
So like and TikTok, like I mean, for someone who's just been on there since the pandemic, I mean, you've got crazy numbers of
Yeah.
people following you. How has, let me start with this. How's the reception been so far? Because you said you hadn't really like dipped your toe into the fantasy crafts pool. How has,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
how's the reception been from your like audience? Are they like loving the projects you've been sharing or?
I think it's been going pretty well. I think fantasy, I think, is kind of a universal thing for uh, kids in
Yeah.
general. It's just fun to um, really stretch your imagination with these types of crafts.
Hmm.
And yeah, I feel like the reception's been really well. It's been going really well. I I love posting little sneak peeks of the crafts,
Yeah.
and it's really fun. I wrote the book a year ago, and it's exciting to finally
Yeah.
start sharing bits of it. I can't wait for people to actually have the copy and see it.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, I think people they really enjoyed my unicorn hair salon project that
oh, I
I put
loved it.
on
That's
there.
one that I was like writing down, like must
Yeah,
do with the little
my
kids.
girls ask to bring that out all the time.
Oh,
Actually, I have it
really?
right here. I have it right here next to me. It has been hair saloned all over the place, and it's still in pretty good shape, I must
I
say.
mean, honestly, that's holding on. Like that looks just like it does in the book.
I know, yeah, but they love playing hair salon. And they brush, they braid, they're putting clips in, and it's really, really cute.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm actually subbing for like a group of like kindergartners next week, like like 5 or 6 year olds. And I was like, oh man, those girls would love that unicorn hair salon. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
ooh, and I was
My
like,
daughter, my daughter May asked for a unicorn themed birthday party this year. And I think I'm gonna go, I'm gonna make it unicorn hair salon themed
oh
where
yes,
unicorns, but it's also gonna be like a dress up party where there's just fancy jewelry and hair accessories and all
love
that
it.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Man, I miss the days when my kids would let me plan a
Oh,
theme birthday party. I am very jealous right now.
oh,
Like,
it is like my favorite thing to do, plan their birthday parties.
I'm here to tell you the day that your child is like, I want to pick the theme, or when they're like, I want to pick my Halloween costume, like
Yeah,
the crafty person and you will be like, okay, like I want to give them autonomy, but like really you
right.
want to be a ghost and wear a sheet.
Yeah.
Like we could do so much better.
Yeah.
But unicorn hair salon sounds like a pretty
Yeah.
awesome party.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. What we were just covering all my things. So you said like your mom was a teacher and she crafted, but then you mentioned that you weren't really, crafty before this. I'm kind of jumping all over the place with your life story. What did you do before before you started like
Oh,
crafting or
yeah.
becoming Studio Rosie?
Right, right. Well, I mean, I would say I was always crafting in the background,
Yeah.
but I guess never like took it seriously, if you could
Hmm.
call any of this
No, I
taking
mean,
it
I know. I tell people I make pom poms for a living. I mean, I get it.
right. Yeah. But yeah, out of high school, when I went to college, I majored in pharmacy
Okay.
and I got my degree. So I was a pharmacist for 3 years. And then when I had Rose, I stopped working, started staying
Mhm.
home with her, and just really, really loved that. It's honestly a dream come true
Yeah.
that I can stay home with my girls and be with them. Um, and during the pandemic, also, I started music directing at a theater in St. Louis
Oh,
because
nice.
I've
Okay.
also played piano my whole life.
Uh-huh.
That was kind of, I would say, my big hobby growing up as a
Yeah.
kid. Just really did a lot of piano as a kid. And so when I became a stay-at-home mom, I felt like I just needed a little something to keep me, just to give me something else to think about
Hmm.
besides diapers and things like
Yeah.
that. So I started working at a theater in St. Louis, and that was incredible. I absolutely love it. I'm actually tomorrow going to play auditions for them.
Oh, awesome.
I'm still involved, but then during the pandemic, things kind of shut down in the theater world, and I had my second child. So I'm not like fully back in, but I'm still playing piano here and there.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I feel, and then I started my Instagram when I started making all this for Rose, and so yeah, now I just kind of mom full time and on the side do my like little creative projects. When I told my grandparents I was writing this book, they said, "We just never know what you're gonna do."
Don't you love that? Like,
Well, it's
God bless
just
the
been,
olds. They're just like, what? Like,
yeah, it's just been a kind of a winding road to get
yeah.
here.
I mean, I get that. And that's why, like, I love talking to people and like hearing their stories of like, well, I was a pharmacist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have a degree in psychology. It's like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
right.
I've never done a day of psychology work in my life, you know? So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
I love hearing where people like started out and like where they are, you
right,
know,
right.
now and how different it can be. So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah,
All right. So with the book and being able to promote it on, I know I keep going back to your social channels, but when I was like looking, I was just like, whoa, as someone who has like been on social media for a long time. I
yeah,
was, man, those numbers. I'm curious out of your book, like, because you kind of get a sense of like when you post something online, you kind of get that like psychic vibe, like this one's gonna blow up, like this one's
right.
like people are gonna love this. Like, I better save this for like my best posting night. Do you
Yeah,
have any
yeah.
like projects like that in the book that you're like, I bet this one's everybody's favorite, or you know what I mean?
I think the one that I kind of based on that in the book was the fairy flower hat that I made. And I
Oh,
actually
that was
did
cute.
post a little sneak peek about that. Um, because when I had like a really big moment when I made some flower lights for my daughter's recycling themed birthday party.
I love.
She asked for a recycling theme, and I'm like, great, let's make
Like,
it
who am I
happen.
to say no to that?
Yeah. So I made the decorations out of old newspapers that my parents get the Sunday newspaper every week, and I was just like,
Uh,
can you save some of them? And I painted them, uh, cut them into flower shapes, and put them up for decorations. And it really kind of exploded. So that was a big one, and I thought, and I was kind of just thinking, how can I incorporate that into the book? And I thought, well, I'll just make it into a little fairy hat instead of a hanging like
uh,
decoration. So I think I kind of went off of like, okay, people like this. Maybe I can
mhm.
incorporate something similar in the book.
Yeah, how can I tweak this and give it a fairy
Yeah,
gnome unicorn mermaid spin? Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the way to do it for sure. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
cute hat for sure.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite one from the book or just the one you think?
Oh boy, that's a good question. It's really hard to pick a favorite. I think
It's a
my
tough
favorite
choice.
chapter is the dragon chapter.
Okay.
I had the most fun doing that one, and Rose and May were also like the most into the dragons. It was
Uh-huh.
so fun. Um, and I also worked with an illustrator for this book,
Yeah,
and
the
she
illustrations are cute and the wording, the lettering.
you yeah, so she made these like fairy tale style letterings for each of the chapter intros. And the first one she sketched for me was the dragon one, and that's the moment I was like, "This is incredible.
Yeah.
She's amazing." Yeah, her name's Tracy Tester, and she's actually just she's my neighbor. We
That's
are
amazing.
her grandson is very good friends with my daughter. We're all neighbors together.
Uh-huh.
And so I would just bounce ideas off her with the book, and she would come back with these amazing illustrations and sketches. And I'm like, these are perfect. And so we kind of wove them into the book and really helped make it like exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, it's cute. Like all the little like illustrations and the wording and the lettering, like the whole like kit and caboodle is real. I can't wait to
Yeah.
see a physical copy because I've just seen like the PDF. And I'm
Oh,
such
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm that person that still buys books all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to see it in my hand, in my hot little hands.
I know, me too, especially with like crafting, recipe books, things like that. I really like having a physical copy in front of me. I feel like that makes it easier for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I don't look at Pinterest or Instagram or whatever, but I do love me a physical
Yeah.
like book. I don't know what it is. There's just, maybe I'm just old fashioned that way. Do you have any besides the dragon? Do you have any and the hair salon? Do you have any other projects right there like handy? Like,
Yeah, well, let me show you. I can show you my little arts and crafts
yes,
area
please.
over
I see it
here.
behind you.
Yeah.
I've been like eyeballing it. Like, take
All
me
right.
over.
Let me see. So another one I have. Can you see this? I don't know.
Oh,
Can you
yes,
see
I
this
loved
now?
her.
Oh yeah. Let me see. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can turn you around. There we go.
Oh,
Um, Yeah, so these are two different crafts from the book. And what I really tried to do was make it so you can make multiple things that kind of fit all together.
hmm
So this one's just a little fairy door that you can make with popsicle sticks. And this fairy is coffee filter. She's got her underside is an egg carton, so she just stands up on her own. And you can use her as a finger puppet, or you can stand her up and play with her. But this one I thought was really cute and made me very happy to make. And then over here, I have another little craft from the book.
Oh, that's so
Um,
clever.
yeah, so this is two different crafts as well. This guy is a little felt gnome, and it's a finger puppet, so you can put him on and play with them. This one was inspired by my daughter May, who loves finger puppets. She loves doing finger family songs and all that. So I made these little felt gnomes, and then the bigger one is a gnome treehouse, and it's cardboard and paper, and all the templates are in the book, so it's pretty easy to follow the instructions and make it. But then all the little gnomes fit in there, so they can have their little house all
It's so
ready to
cute.
go
I
in
mean, even
there.
the little fairy could
Yeah.
fly over if she wanted to come.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I tried my best to
Oh my gosh,
kind of
that's
make
cute.
everything go
Yeah,
together.
I loved it. Those were a few of my favorites. Like when I saw that little fairy and the like the dip dyed coffee filter action and then her little space buns, I was like, oh, that's so cute. Yeah, there was like so many cute ones. And then you had like a little like leaf book that I loved. I'm like, you can see my like pile of art journals. Like, I'm like, I love making books and like art journals. I was like, oh, that little leaf shaped journal is real cute.
Yeah, I love that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, there was just like so many, like everything of them. I was just like, am I too old for this? Do I have to make this with the kid?
No, I
Like,
don't think so at all. Yeah.
can I do this? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm looking through my notes. So, when you when you talked to Page Street about putting the book together, did they say to you like, "Hey, can you make this like with a heavy emphasis on like recycled things," or did you kind of already naturally do that? I mean, it sounded like you kind of were already that kind of gal.
Right. No, they did not. That's just kind of how I have always, since the beginning of my account, how I kind of went
Hmm.
about crafting. During the pandemic, I like really tried my best to just use what we had in the house.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of using recycled materials, egg cartons, toilet paper tubes, just whatever paint and yarn we just happened to have in the
Hmm.
basement. So that's just kind of, I think, my style. So that's what I went with. There's all these very specific supplies for all the crafts, but they
Hmm.
can easily be modified to use
Yeah.
just whatever you have. It's um, a lot of it's recycled materials, a lot of it's stuff that you would just find in your house already, and then, you know, paint, glue,
Hmm.
just a few arts and crafts supplies. But yeah, that's kind of always been how I've been making the crafts. And so that's the same with the book. It's a lot of recycled, some natural things, and all that.
Hmm. Kind of what you can find around.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I am a huge cardboard crafter. Like
Hmm.
like cereal box cardboard, like that's my jam. Like
Yeah.
I love it. Do you have a favorite? Here's two questions. As someone who
Yeah.
does a lot of cardboard crafts, do you have a like a favorite tool to cut cardboard? Like, I mean, I've seen those little like that cutter, that thing for kids, the
Yeah.
chomper deal.
Uh-huh.
I keep
Yeah.
like debating like, do I want that or do I want electric scissors? Like,
Right. Well, I tell you what, I am a majority of the time just using scissors.
same.
I just maybe it's my piano hand strength, but I it doesn't bother me to cut
Oh,
up
it
a bunch of
doesn't.
cardboard. Yeah, it really doesn't. People ask me that a lot, what I use to cut cardboard, and I'm just using like that Fisker brand, the orange
Yeah,
scissors.
yeah, yeah.
That's just I just use scissors to cut it out. And I do think paint covers a lot of mistakes. I
Oh,
think, when you just cut it out, it does look rough.
yeah.
But the moment you paint it and add a little detail, it all just goes away. You don't even notice it. So
No, yeah.
if I have to cut the inside of cardboard, I will use an X-Acto knife, but I really try to avoid getting out the X-Acto knife.
Same.
I don't
I'm
like
not
it.
that person. I see collage artists using it, and I'm like, that is just not me. Like,
Right.
that is
Yeah,
too
I
much
know.
patience for me. Okay, well, I was hoping you'd have some like super
Yeah.
secret trick because sometimes
I
I
know.
have to
I
do
wish I
like,
did, but I'm just cutting with scissors.
God, Jennifer, you let me down. No, I'm just kidding. So, if not a cardboard thing, my second question is, what is your favorite like craft? Like, I know you said you like to use recycled things, but if there was something that
Yeah.
you're just like, I can't live without my Mod Podge or my tacky, like
Mhm.
I love a glue stick.
Yeah, yeah. I that is a tough one. I think my favorite supply that I'm using all the time is my hot glue gun.
I guess that's
I feel
yeah,
like I use it for virtually everything.
yeah.
Something will break, like a toy will break, and my girls will just bring it to me and be like, "Can you hot glue this together?" Like it just fixes everything in our house.
It's
And
true.
I do like it because it's fast, it dries fast, it's very secure, it keeps things good for the girls. It's hard to break it once you hot glue it together. I feel like that's my number one tool.
Oh,
And then, but I do try when I'm making crafts designed for the girls to do
uh-huh.
themselves. I do try to leave out the hot glue gun. For me personally, my favorite thing to use, but for them, I feel like there's
Yeah.
not the age yet where I can just let them loose with a hot glue gun.
Yeah.
So
Especially the
I
little
do
one.
try to avoid it with them, but for me, I love a hot glue
That's true. I
gun.
mean, I should have said that. I should have led with that. I mean, I have a tattoo of a hot glue gun. So yeah, I love a hot glue gun
Absolutely.
too. My whole life motto is glue stuff to stuff.
Yeah.
So, well, they're not too far off. Your oldest one's pretty close to being able to.
Yeah, I know. I was actually kind of perusing the hot glue gun section, thinking, well, maybe we can start off with like one of these low temp ones, see how she does. She'll go crazy with it. Like she has been wanting to get her hands on my hot glue gun for the longest time. I can't wait to see what she makes with it.
Oh yeah, once they get that freedom, it's like, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? It's like the keys to the car. It's like
right.
like
Yeah,
nothing is safe. I mean, I remember my sister and I, like, we had an aunt that worked at a thrift store, like these great aunts that worked at like a senior center, and they would bring
yeah,
us, like, I say this as I'm sitting next to bags of costume jewelry. They
yeah.
would bring it to us, and I mean, I remember my mom would be like, "Here's a hot glue gun in a box," and we would just be like, psh, psh, just like, just gluing
Right.
everything to everything for like hours.
Yeah.
So they're on their way. Okay, so let's see. Do you have any plans for like a next book? Do you have anything?
I don't know. I have lots of ideas. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, the ideas are not the problem. It's
Yeah.
finding time to
Yeah.
execute it. So if somebody came to me and said, "Would you write a second book?" I think I could easily come up with a second book of ideas. But the time, I don't know if I can come up
Yeah.
with it.
I mean, honestly, until the girls go to kindergarten, like you're kind of,
Yes, maybe then. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe when they're both in school. But yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun writing this book. It was fun because I got to try everything with the girls. They let me do little photo shoots with the crafts, and
I wondered if that was them in the book.
oh, it's all them.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Uh, they, they let me put all the little costume pieces on them and take pictures, and they had a lot of fun. And I showed them the book for the first time when it came to the mail, and it was so cute. They were just sitting in the hammock together, like paging through it, like reminiscing about
Oh, that's so
the
cute.
pictures and all the days that we had. And it was such a fun summer to have with them writing this book. So it
Oh,
was a
that's
nice
good.
experience.
Well, and for
Yeah.
you, like, for me, I feel like it's not really happened on purpose, but like, so what I've written, God, I can't even remember, 4 or 5 kids' craft books now, but like, I feel like just naturally they kind of like went with the age of the child. Like, my last
Yeah.
book was like crafts for teens. And
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? Or kind of older kids. And it was like, it just kind of happened that my kids are 14 and 16. They were younger when I wrote it by a few years.
Right.
But my daughter, I could be like, so would you and your friends make this, or is this just dumb? You
Right.
know what I mean? And she would
Right.
tell me, like, no, mom, nobody's gonna do that. Or like, her
Yeah.
kids, are people still saying this? Is this the right lingo? And she'd be like, so
Yeah.
it's nice to have your children there as like your little
Yeah.
guinea pigs, like, so what do you think about this?
Right. Yeah,
Your little
absolutely.
focus group.
Yeah, they truly were. Yeah.
I love it. That's perfect. So besides the book, any other like exciting craft things on your horizon, creative things, or just gonna keep on keeping on with
Yeah. Yeah.
Instagram? Because you don't even have a blog, do you?
I don't. It's funny. At the beginning of last year, like in January, I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. Like my account was getting big. I was like, what am I doing with it? Let's decide
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. I need to like have a direction. And then literally 2 weeks later, Page Street asked if I would write a book. I'm like, okay, I can do that. I was looking for something to do.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of back at that point of, okay, I did this awesome thing and I'm so proud of it. But now I need to, my plan is to do something. I don't know
Yeah.
what though. I just have to
No, I
kind
mean, I don't want to be like, girl, you need to monetize that. But like,
right. I
but
know.
also, girl, you need to monetize that.
Right.
You
I
can put you
know.
can put
I
the
know.
kids through college with the views you're getting. So
That's funny. Well, I think it all just happened so fast, and it was never really my intention to make this as big as it is. It's
right.
great, and I'm like so lucky that so many people like what I'm doing, and I'm really grateful for all that. But it really was never my intention, and it's put me in this position of what am I going to do? It's
Yeah.
I have this big account. And for right now, I'm just gonna keep posting crafts that for the girls because
Yeah.
know they enjoy doing all that. And then I'll probably figure something out,
Well,
make make it more professional.
I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years and I'm still trying to figure it out. So no worries. We all go that way. Like, I don't know what to do. So, but you're doing something right because the book's real cute and so's your Instagram and your TikTok and all the things.
Thank you.
So it was so good to talk to you. I just can't wait for everybody to go
Yeah.
out and get their copy of the book. They can pre-order it right
Thank
now, right? When's it
you.
come out?
Comes out April 22nd. It's right around the corner.
I know that
Yeah.
is like a hop, skip, and a jump away.
No, yeah, I just got my copy in the mail this week. I
Ooh,
have
let
it
me
right.
see. Ooh, that's exciting. It's so cute.
I know. I really love it. I'm so excited to let people see it and just enjoy all the crafts in here. I love them all.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
mean,
exciting.
60 of them. Again, let me say that. I was just like, whoa. And they're not like half-baked crafts. Like they're good ones. So,
Yeah, I know. I love it. Yeah, they're all just really great. And I'm so excited for people to see it and enjoy it.
hooray. Well, congratulations. And thank you for taking
You
the time to
know?
talk to me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.